Welcome to episode 3 of the Language Learning Network podcast. I'm here with my coworker Daniel Martinez that I have the privilege of interviewing. And in as much as tall people probably get tired of being told all the time, wow, you're so tall, how tall are you, even though it's meant in a very positive light, I guarantee you Daniel has to be tired of hearing, God, I love your accent. You have the greatest accent on earth. Oh, your accent's so amazing. So Daniel, again, I can't reiterate enough the extent to which it's a privilege to have you on the podcast. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much for your words. I appreciate it. I'm really nervous, though, so I just want to leave that there clear.
Nothing to be nervous about. Just so everybody knows, I had the pleasure actually of first meeting Daniel about exactly 3 years ago, before the pandemic in 2019, when I was still Sean's director of education. One of my tasks, I was more actively involved in the observation processes, and I observed Daniel teach online from the Canary Islands. And all I could think about the whole time, uncreatively, was, man, this guy's got the greatest accent on earth. And I loved his view in the background of the Canary Islands and the big mountain. I'm sure you guys don't call it the big mountain. What's it called, Daniel, just so the rest of us know?
Well, it's just the mountains in my village behind my house. So you can see it through the window. And it was a great view, but it was really bad because of the sun at the time I was teaching. So the camera was not set in the right place. But now I'm in a bigger office, bigger table, bigger monitors. So it's way better now.
Was it just a matter of the window and the sunlight casting a glare on your laptop screen when you were teaching?
Yes, I think so.
Well, Dan, just like we ask everybody here at LLN, some of us meant to be teachers from day one, and that was our goal. Some of us stumbled upon it. Some of us had mentors. If you could just tell us, man, in your own words, how'd you get into teaching?
Well, I really wanted to become a teacher when I was 17 years old. My mom used to be a primary school teacher. So sort of runs in my blood, and I really wanted to become a teacher. But I wasn't happy living here in the Canary Islands. At that time, I was 18 years old. So after completing my secondary school, I worked for maybe 6-7 months to make some money so that I could buy a ticket to go to London and live there and settle down there. And that's what I did. I worked a couple of months delivering televisions, washing machines, and all sorts of appliances to different houses. I made enough money for the ticket and to stay there for 3-4 weeks. And my life changed there. So my mission was to enter university. So at the moment, I did study a lot of grammar. So I did make sure that I knew a little bit of the language, like the present, the past, do, does, did, will, would, could, should. I studied like zero conditional, first, second, third, so I was kind of ready.
You went all in.
I went all in, and it wasn't too long. So I got a job as a kitchen porter. That was the first one I got. And I lasted 1 day.
Oh, my.
And then, And then I was very lucky. I got a job as a butler in a very posh hotel in South Kensington. So there, my English improved a lot. And after a year and a half, I applied to university for adult education. And I passed the test, and they gave me the place to do Hispanic studies at the London Metropolitan University. And I lived there, and I was on and off uni because I had to work full time. And it was very difficult because London is super expensive. Yeah, it was good. Once I completed my degree, I just started teaching, Although I did teach when I was 17 years old. I taught English through APA. It's like a parents' association in schools that you teach like extracurricular activities. Okay. So that was my first job around 17.
What kind of extracurricular activities?
It was English. Using a book called Salmon Radio. It was really good. And so I knew then that I wanted to become a teacher. But in order for me to be an official teacher, I had to go through uni, through my master's degree, plus the experience.
And what are all the languages you speak, Daniel? Because you're a very international and diverse guy.
No, it's just English and Spanish.
Clearly, you went all in and you worked very, very hard to master English, but that wasn't your major at the university, correct? Your major was
No.
Hispanic studies?
When I did my master's degree in Spain, I wanted to do like specifically to teach English as a foreign language in Spain. But my degree was from Hispanic studies. So what they did at the university, they did like a test and an interview. So they interviewed me and they said, okay, your English is good enough, so I think we're going to give you a place. So I played it that way. I did not study English in England, but I became an English teacher once I came back to Spain.
So essentially, if you get a degree in, let's say, France, they'll recognize your credits in your degree in the Grand Canary Islands.
Yeah, exactly.
So is it safe to assume you were also born in the Grand Canary Islands, lived there, elementary school, high school, everything?
I was born in Caracas, Venezuela, to Canadian parents. So my parents are from the Canary Islands. And their parents migrated to Venezuela. So they met there, and they had me and my brother there. And when I was 3 years old, we all moved back to the Canary Islands, and I was raised here.
So you never ran into any issues where, like, you went to the Canary Islands and then you're using the Venezuelan Spanish word for something as opposed to the Grand Canary Venezuela, the word for bus or car?
Adam, I'll tell you something like really funny about wawa. Wawa, it's how we say it here in the Canary Islands, okay? So then we, the Canarios, we took that to Latin America. So in fact, the whole of Latin America, they speak Spanish as we do. It's very similar. We have the ceseo, we don't pronounce the th. So wawa, in reality, comes from the English word wagon.
Get out! I had no idea. I thought it was an onomatopoeic word, like, that must be the sound that the bus makes or something.
We the Canarios, we heard it. So for us, we didn't really hear wagon. We heard wawa. And that's how it came to be. And also there is like a knife, a Canarian knife, a traditional knife, that is called knife, which is the English word, knife, and it's Canario.
Yeah.
It's fun, yeah.
I love it when a mispronunciation becomes the real word for something. So, moving past the origin story, as it were, Big Daniel, and into some more interesting stuff, could you tell us all what you're watching on Netflix these days?
I used to watch a lot of series, but I just don't like them anymore. Watch a lot of politics, like U.S. politics and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right. Daniel, there in the Canary Islands, what is your favorite food?
Could be, I really like tortilla española, I really like paella, I like my salads, I don't know, I like Canadian food as well, like the typical food you find in the Canary Islands.
Is there a massive difference between the traditional Spanish cuisine that's made in mainland Spain and the Spanish food in the Canary Islands?
Yeah, we do have our own stuff, like something called wrinkled potatoes, papas arrugadas. They're super nice. It's like boiled potatoes, but we do it in a way that their skin like sort of wrinkled, with salt and lemon, and it's really good. And we dip it in mojo, like mojo, which is a Canarian sauce, spicy. So it's good. Like fish as well. We have fresh fish here.
This is a dangerous conversation, Daniel, because it's lunchtime in the United States right now. You're killing me. Daniel, can you tell, are you currently reading anything?
At the moment, just newspapers, like news. I'm not reading a book at the moment.
So between the politics you're watching on TV and just the newspapers, one could argue a case where one of your biggest hobbies is just keeping informed.
Yeah, I guess. I like to keep up with current events.
So when you're not teaching and you're not immersed in your duties for LLN and for Sean and to your supervisees, what else what are maybe two other things we can find you doing in your spare time besides keeping apprised of political events in the United States?
Perfect. So one of them is DJing. I love DJing. I use vinyls. I have a large vinyl collection.
Oh, God, my best friend would be jealous.
I've been DJing for 20 years now, and it's my passion. I love it as much as teaching, so it's good. I used to DJ more before, but now just at home and
in the London days.
The London days, indeed, yes.
And besides DJing, anything else? Any sports?
Yeah, producing as well. I do teach DJing. I help like newcomers. I teach them how to actually mix, show them how to produce music as well using different softwares. So yeah, that's like with that plus doing my PhD as well. I really have no much time left for anything else.
Yeah, it's tough to be a scholar and have a lot of hobbies. So the next thing I'm supposed to ask you, Big Dan, is what kind of music you listen to. But I think it's kind of a silly question based on what your hobbies are.
Yeah,
You sort of almost answer two questions in one there. Moving on, since we all have very international jobs, obviously, we teach foreign languages and we support foreign language teachers and research current trends in foreign language education. Clearly, many of us have done extensive traveling, if not for our hobbies, for the sake of improving the languages that we teach. Do you have a country, Dan, you say you've most enjoyed visiting out of all your travels throughout the world?
and to be brutally honest, I lived those 12 years in London. I didn't really travel much. I've been to California back in 2018 for 20 to 23 days. It was awesome. It was like a proper holiday.
Where in California?
Oh, LA.
LA, oh, goodness.
I did get a car and I drove like so much, Santa Barbara, San Diego, San Jose, I don't know, like everywhere, all over the place.
That's
as much
amazing.
as I could, it was good. That was like a proper holiday. Apart from that, I've been in Spain, different cities in Spain, Italy, Mallorca, which is another island that belongs to Spain.
Of course.
The Balearic ones, Mallorca. Yeah. So that's in the Mediterranean Sea. I've been there. And Barcelona. But no.
Yeah. But you'd call California the favorite trip?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's funny you meant the last time I went to California, it was in the middle of the pandemic of 2020. I went to visit a friend. I went to Santa Barbara. That was my last California trip. Spent a week there. I loved it.
Nice.
And I was able to work remotely for Sean while I was there.
No, perfect.
From Santa Barbara.
We can work from anywhere in the world. As long as we have an internet connection. That's why I love this job.
So would you say, Big Dan, that you have a favorite activity to do with your Spanish language students?
Favorite activity? Well, let's not call it activity, but let's say like where I focus a lot is on the vowel sound. If you really want to speak your language, learn the vowel sound, and that's it. A, E, I, O, U. That's it. 5 different sounds. That's all you need to know. C with A, ka. B with A, ba. And so on and so forth. You sort of program their brains into it. It's a little bit tough, but they get there. I repeat things a lot. That sort of mind control. To spiral teaching.
You kind of have to when you teach online because there's so much less reading and writing. What else can you do at the end of the day? Big Dan, would you say you have any role models in education or in foreign language acquisition? Your family, obviously, because you come from a family of teachers.
Yeah, definitely my mom, like number one. But I do have to tell you about this. Her name is Feluca, but her real name is Rafaela Felipe. All right, she was the director of the academy I worked for 10, 11 years or something like that.
Oh my!
And she's an amazing teacher. I did learn a lot from her. And she trusted me, and it was good. I was able to develop my skills as a teacher there from 3-year-olds all the way to university students. So, from here, I give her a big hug. I miss her a lot, and I really wish she's doing well because she's a great teacher.
That's awesome. Do you have any memorable teaching moments, real specific ones, Dan, that stick out in your career history?
Wow. What can I say? Yeah, like one student of mine got a place at a university in England, I gave her the reference and she was accepted. And it was
Did she go to the same school where you studied, the same place?
No, a different university. It was up in Scotland. I can't remember where exactly.
St. Andrews, maybe?
Huh?
St. Andrews, maybe?
No, I can't remember. I remember this, that she was extremely happy and... So was I, because it was a little reflection of my work in there.
Of course.
And it was like really fluent, and she had never been in England before. Just coming to the academy 3 hours a week, and she became bilingual.
Yeah. We touch the future, man. We teach. Big Dan, what do you imagine you would be doing if you weren't a teacher? Full-time DJ?
Probably not. There is nothing else I could do like I do teaching. I worked in hospitality in London for many years while I was doing my degree. No, I don't want to do hospitality again. It would be crazy.
Yeah. But you
No,
see,
yeah,
that seems right up your alley. You have the patience of God, it seems like that would be, and just, I could picture you not only doing that, but being the very beloved manager of all the hotel and restaurant staff too. Daniel, how long have you been at LLN?
Well, it's been 3 years now, since 2019.
Feels like you've been at LLN much longer. And Daniel, can you just remind everybody listening to this podcast what your current role is at LLN?
Well, I'm a teacher as well as a supervisor. I started like last week. So, super excited about this for trusting me.
It wasn't even a question whether or not to make you a supervisor.
Responsibility. So I'm like, panic mode. So I'm going to do my best. Let's see how it goes. Thank you guys for the opportunity. It's just amazing, like, to be working for an American company.
Yeah, the honor is ours, man.
In the Canary Islands, it's just awesome.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, I'm really proud, and I tell everybody.
Yeah. So how did you come to meet Sean and start working for LLN?
I was so lucky. Because I wanted to make some extra cash. It was back in... I think it was, Adam, at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019. I think it was around that time. And I saw an ad on Indeed, and I knew the company was an American company, and I thought, like, yeah, they're never going to get me because I'm here, and it's not going to happen. But I did apply anyways, and not shortly after, but a couple of weeks later, I got an email from Sean asking me if I could take up a class. And then everything was so quick. And we met like the night before, and he showed me, because we were using a different system there.
That's right, big blue button.
See that one, yes, yeah. That one, I remember that one now. It was that one, so he sort of walked me through it. And and then I started working. I had a school. What was the name?
That's right. You were teaching at a New York Catholic school.
Heart. I was there for the full year. Yeah. Sacred Heart. It was good. And then after that was COVID. COVID hit.
Yeah, middle of the school year. Yeah.
COVID happened. So I'm gonna do like a parenthesis here, brackets, because I don't really want to talk about COVID. And then I went to London like 2020 to 2021, and I worked there for an agency called ANZ UK.
Okay.
And I got jobs there like substitute teachers, like supply teachers for primary schools and secondary schools. It was a full year in London. Crazy. It was like kids there, they're tough, they're really tough, and it was... the pandemic going on. But I did it. It was for a year, and then I came back, and I got in touch with Sean, and he offered me the job in California out of that school. Yeah. And I was there last year, full year. It was a great experience.
Definitely. Every teacher who survived teaching in the pandemic came out stronger and a better teacher, for certain.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, like, Sean was already doing what it was needed later.
Right.
It's like he had the vision before it happened.
Very ahead of his time. Yeah.
Like, what? So while other teachers were struggling,
we were all already trained. It was great.
So good. But the thing, the opportunity he gave me last year teaching at that school was great, because obviously I had worked 3 and 4 year olds, but not online. So it was such a challenge, and I was like really panicky and freaking out. And I was, until Sean, like, he came to rescue, and he joined one of my classes. And he said, like, Daniel, just calm down, calm down. And he started singing all these songs for the kids, and the kids were like, oh yeah. So from that point on, everything changed, and it was so smooth the whole year. And I was like,
Awesome.
really happy. I was really happy with the experience. It was great. It was great.
Dan, super fast because we got 1 minute left. Big Dan, what's one thing you want the rest of the LLN teachers to know about you?
Oh, I've already said everything.
Yeah. You have been very candid. It's been great.
Yeah, I've said like everything. You know, if I can help you in any way, do contact me. Can help you with anything, like any issues or any activities, anything I can help you with. You can contact me. I'll be happy to do that.
Well, Dan, thank you so much for talking to us. I'm going to end the recording there, and this will be in the next edition of the LLN newsletter.